It's like, okay, you have representatives of so many different countries here. That in itself, just you feel that, kind of greatness, like that collaboration between the world is happening right now. That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome. But on the lighter side,
No,
so then if you what would you tell the people in Spain or about Tunisia that are some things that other people would like to bring into their lives? Or, I mean, I'm interested to know about Tunisia.
mm,
I just know that it's east of Italy, past, what is that, the Arabian Sea?
no, it's on the Mediterranean Sea,
Oh, it's on the Mediterranean.
and it's in the southwest of Italy. So the Mediterranean Sea, it's between Europe and Africa. So
Yeah.
Tunisia is on the African part, and the southern part of Mediterranean. What I really like about the Mediterranean culture, about before we talk about Tunisia, because those are elements that are very common to many Mediterranean countries. If you go to Tunisia, if you go to Greece, if you go to Italy, to Spain, you will find those common points. Is first the food, the food that I consider that is, I know it's not objective at all, but for me the best food in the world is in the Mediterranean countries. um,
I
and of
love that
course,
you start with food first, because for me that's the most important.
yeah, I think it's very important in a culture. If you want to know more about this culture, you have to start by the food, I think.
Yes, I love that. You get to see the culture in the food so much.
Yeah,
One of the best examples, real quick, because I just love this
no problem.
example, is Japanese food, and how, like, sushi, what's the utensil? Well, with your hands or
Mm.
two sticks.
Yeah,
And then the food is all wrapped up in a tiny circle, and it's
very
got
organized, very
rice,
packed.
vegetables,
Yeah,
protein, a fish, and oh,
it,
love
it
it. So what
it's
do you like?
delicious. Of course, it's delicious. But it tells so much about Japanese culture. How Japanese first take care. Sorry, um, matter a lot about healthy food first. They are very organized, so they don't want a big plate with salsa and juicy things. No, they want things that are packed, very organized. Of course, sushi is not the only food in Japan, but sushi shows you that,
Mhm.
also, sushi is a very, very old tradition, and it shows you that it shows you how tradition is important in Japan, and how people keep transmitting this tradition from generation to another. And it's not the case in all cultures around the world. So you're right. When you go to a new culture, a new country, start by the food. It's a very good starting point.
All
uh,
right, we got that covered. But
so yeah, Mediterranean culture is that it's a lot of seafood, a lot of fish, a lot of olive oil. In Tunisia, we have a lot of olive trees, but you go to Spain and Greece, it's the same. What was actually sad when I've been to the US and I bought olive oil. Next time you go to supermarket, you can try to see that on the package. They tell you that the olive oil you have in this bottle is 20% from the US, 15% from Spain, 12% from Greece, 2% from Chile. It's like mixed. And I said, why? Why do mixed? And like when I asked some friends from the US, they told me it's just because the taste of olive oil in the US is very neutral. So they try to make the perfect mix of olive oil to don't have a too strange taste for the US consumers.
hmm.
For me, it's a disgrace, but I can understand the logic,
Yeah, it's a
because
good it's a good description. But so you're telling me that, like, you shouldn't mix, like, Merlot with Pinot Noir wine, and it's not a good idea?
no, 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 no. Sorry, sorry. Don't start doing the American. You know that it's not a good idea. Stop
Wait,
being
can we just make
cliche.
a hamburger out of it? Can we, like...
Stop with the cliches.
All right, I'll stop insulting everybody around the world.
Yeah. So yeah. So also wine, actually, it's something that is you find in many Mediterranean countries. Um, So that's something I like. The lifestyle you have is actually very healthy. The tomatoes, the all the vegetables you find there are just delicious. Always about as well about the people. Um, in the Mediterranean countries, people are very spontaneous, which is something I like. Because, for example, when I visited Denmark, it's a like very northern culture, and people there are very cold. You know,
Well, it's a lot colder up there temperature,
yeah,
They don't see the sun as much.
yeah, that's true. But what I found sad is that I only seen people from Denmark being funny when they were drunk, and like, why do you need to be drunk to be funny? You know, like to be welcoming with people you don't know on the street. Because I was there one day when it was the European Cup of soccer of football, and Denmark won. So everybody was celebrating in the street, and they were all drunk. And then, like I said, okay, so they are able to be funny. But for example, in Mediterranean countries, even if you have a lot of wine, you don't need to be drunk to be nice and welcoming and funny. Um, Actually, in some countries, they are Muslim, and not a lot of not. It's not very common for people to drink. Right? In Tunisia, you have a part of the population who drinks, but it's not common, and people are very welcoming. You talk to them in the street, asking for your for the route, for example, and like they will help you very easily. Also, when you see about the for Mediterranean families, family is important. You need like to really be to care about your brother, about your father, about your mother. If your father or your mother is old, most of the time you don't send them to the retirement house. You bring them to your place, and they live with you. You know, and it's very common. While when I see in European countries, people who prefer to put the parents in the retirement house, I see it as a sad thing. I don't say, "Oh, shame on you," because I know that it's not easy, especially in Paris. You have to work a lot. You're out of time and everything. And maybe it's the less worst solution, because you know that at the retirement house they will take care of him. They will have a nurse, a doctor, or anything he needs. But that's something you cannot do in a Mediterranean country. It's like a shame when you do that. You know. So that's what I would say about Mediterranean culture. But then about Tunisia, I can tell you many things. I know that in the US, you know a lot about the fight between Carthago and Roma in the history, in the early history, and how Carthago was ruling the part of the Mediterranean and tried to fight against the Romanian Empire, and to rule all the Mediterranean. Well, Carthago was founded in Tunisia. So if you sorry visit Tunisia, you can visit Carthago. You still have some antiquities that you can visit in Tunisia. Tunisia was also the place in which you had a lot of civilization that went through. You had the Berberian, you had the Romanian, the Carthago Empire. You had the Christians, you had the Muslims, you had France that colonized us, you had Italians that tried to colonize us, which makes Tunisia a mix of many cultures. And that's why we are a country that is very, I would not say open to the world, but connected to the world because of these different backgrounds we have.